So if your hands are not too busy, you should just give him a round of applause from wherever you are. So right now I'm going to pass the mic over to Mr. Kelechukwu Godfrey to just give a little bit of introduction about himself.
I think Godsend is having network issues. Can you hear me,
It seems
Godsend?
like I can hear it seems like I disconnected. Can you just give me a reference to where I disconnected, where you guys stopped listening to me
So
or
you
stopped hearing my voice?
were trying to introduce the event, and you were saying we should clap for K, and that's the last thing I
Okay,
heard.
yeah.
You were to introduce him to the house, and
Okay,
then
so let me just start all over. My name is Godsend. I'm a moderator for the ESC Telegram channel, and today we'll be having our monthly volunteer training on personal finance with my able speaker, Mr. Kelechukwu Godfrey, who is the finance educator and convener on the boardroom. So without much further ado, I would like to introduce Mr. Kelechukwu Godfrey to come and give his 2 cents on what we are going to be doing today and how the training is going to look like. Thank you. Sorry, did everybody get that? I forgot to even ask for confirmation. Did everybody get what I said?
It's a bit shaky on my end. I don't know if it's the same for every other person.
okay. So Godsend, you were a bit shaky, so I'm not sure if we heard you clearly, but um, I just want to appreciate K for
Am I
being
clear now? Am
here.
I clear now?
It's still shaky, and the noise in the background as well.
Sorry, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, this is way better.
Okay, this is way better. So what I said was that we'll be having our monthly volunteer training with our able speaker, Mr. Kelechukwu Godfrey, who is the financial educator and convener on the boardroom. So without much further ado and wasting of time, I would like to introduce or put forth Mr. Kelechukwu Godfrey to give us an introduction, a little bit of introduction on how the training would look like and the content of the training. So thank you all. And can I just get a little bit of confirmation that everybody got that?
Yes, yes, yes. Um, K, can you hear me?
Yeah, Z, I'm here. I can hear you.
Yeah, so I think you have the floor to just you know, just take us on the topic that we have for today. So
All right.
if you are ready, right? Yes, if you're ready, could let us know and we can start from there.
All right. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Can everyone hear me, please? So, good evening, everyone. My name is Kelechukwu Godfrey. My friends call me K. And today we'll be looking at personal finance in all retrospect, right? So we're going to look at personal finance and the things involved in personal finance, from savings, budgeting, investment, money management, earnings, and all of it. And looking at the fact that we're all volunteers, right? These are things we do for free. I don't know if you all get me. These are things we do for free to aid the society, to help the society to even become better persons, to even acquire more knowledge, more credentials, more portfolios, and everything. These are volunteering is just what we do to just help society and help ourselves in return. But at the same time, as the person who volunteers that their time, their resources, their ideas and everything that they are to the development of society, in which we don't get anything in return. It looks very taxing. And at some point, it becomes very disturbing that all of these things you're doing for free. How do you get back in return? That's one question that hits most people in time whenever they ask them to volunteer. Like, I'm giving up everything that I am, I'm giving up everything that I have, and just to help a cause. But at the same time, like I feel I'm not doing anything. I just want to reaffirm you that there's a lot more you're gaining, and everything doesn't really have to be money. Now, with that said, let's go into personal finance, right? So, personal finance is a term basically that covers everything that has to do with your own money decisions, right? It's a term that covers how you make financial decisions that affect your financial life in the long term, And these decisions range from earning, range from money management, range from multiplying your money. I don't know if you guys got that. Are you guys with me? Hello?
Yeah, I got that.
All right. So let me
Yes, we are
reaffirm
with
the term.
you.
All right. So let me reaffirm the term personal finance covers the area of your personal money management, your earning power, and the financial decisions you make in the long term that help you get a financial free life or a financially better life, or a financial outstanding life, whichever way you put it. Like I said earlier, the whole thing of personal finance cuts across various areas from savings to budgeting to investments, all of that, right? But there's something I call the pyramid of financial freedom. And at that pyramid, it has five levels from survival to earning, from earning to savings, from savings to investment, from investments to financial freedom and economic opulence. Now, while when everyone was born, right? I don't think anyone was born with $1 attached to their name or whatever amount they came out from their mother's open money. We all came out the same. Everyone had to strive on that to start making a living, to start earning, right? So it means that all of us coming into life, we came together as the same, irrespective of the different areas we find ourselves in. The rich, the middle class, and whatever it is, those ones with the silver spoon and the golden spoon, whatever the class may be. But the honest truth is, we're all born the same, right? With no value attached to us at birth, with no amount of money coming out from our mother's womb. We were born like that, naked, even without a name. We came to this world, we're given a name, we're given a tribe, we're given a religion, we're given clothes, we're given care, we're given food, and we were given money. Now, we went to school, we had formal educations, and after that, what's the next thing that happened? You're now thrown into the labor market and you're asked to fend for yourself. And now to escape the survival area, you have to earn. Now you have to look for a way to make money. I tell people there are four pillars that is involved in making money. You make money from what you studied in school. You make money from what you love doing. You make money from what you learned outside school. You make money from the abundance of people, and you make money through investments. I'll take it again. You make money from doing what you learned in school. You make money from doing what you're doing. You make money from doing what you learned outside school. You make money through the abundance of people and then by investing. These five pillars. Now let me explain it. Now, there is no sense in going to school, spending 4 years in this country, or let's say a medical doctor, spending 7 years plus ASU plus COVID, and then you're telling the person they will not practice medicine and make money from it. That means the entire 4 years or 7 years the person spent trying to acquire that degree was a waste. I mean, they could have just used that time starting a business, right? They spent money, they spent time, they spent resources. All of these were investments. Why would you, as a person, not want to reap from the investment you have made? I studied accounting. I'm a banker. I'm reaping from the accounting knowledge I have gathered through my life. I'm reaping from what I learned in school, right? So earning from what you earning from what you studied in school is a major aspect that many people need to look at. School not discount in retrospect. I hear young every now and then. I hear them say, school not scam. Many time I don't spend in go school and every other thing, I would have used it in, learning the children. It's still fine, right? But let us remember that the professional world needs you to be professional and it needs you to acquire a certain form of education so that you can be absorbed in that field. And so, earn from what you studied in school. It is very, very important. Now, the second one is earning from what you love doing. All of us here, we all have hobbies. There are things we enjoy doing. Some people enjoy talking and they become public speakers. Some people enjoy being a tomfoolery and they end up becoming comedians. Some end up sewing clothes and end up becoming fashion designers. Some people end up cooking, loving, like they end up loving how to cook and they end up chefs. Look within you and ask yourself, what is that thing I love or I enjoy doing that I can capitalize on and monetize and, become and, make a living out of? I have a friend who is a veterinary doctor. At the same point, she enjoys cooking. Do you know what she does now? She goes to the market, looks at the best animal available and buys them and, kills the animal and prepares the meat. Now, she doesn't just prepare the meat. Let's say she just prepares meat. She prepares the meat to be sold. Now, she processes the meat, not like cook or anything. The way she handles the meat in a very professional manner that you would see meat and it will be hungry to buy. The way she packages the meat and all of that. So she's now using her love for cooking and her veterinary ideas fusing together to create a market where people can come and buy healthy protein. To buy healthy protein, which I have never seen anyone do. Whenever you go to the market, you want to buy protein, meat or beef or goat meat or chicken or whatever, you see flies buzzing all around it. And that's that's very, very unethical and very unhealthy. And funny enough, this is not even measured. So imagine you buying let's say 1 kg of meat, which in the right sense is supposed to be 1,000 naira. You're buying that 1 kg for 3,000 naira. You think you're being cheated. But the way she made this thing look, bringing the knowledge she has as a veterinary doctor and her love for cooking, fusing them together to create a system where people can buy healthy proteins that are even weighted very well and are given the right market price for. That's her fusing her hobbies into one thing. Now ask yourself as a person, what are the things I love doing that I know I can monetize and start making money from? Now, the third one, learning from things you learned outside school. We've been hearing get a skill, pick a skill, maybe a tech skill, pick maybe copywriting, whatever skill, pick communication skills. These are things you learn outside school. You learn photography, you learn sewing, you learn this, you learn that, you learn graphics designing. All of these things are aids to earning. Now, here's the funny thing. You know how they say live within your means, live within your means, live within your means. I tell people, why live within your means when you can expand your means? For example, I use the Bible as a reference. The Garden of Eden had 4 points of access of water to nourish it. If a garden can have 4 points for nourishment, the river Gishon, Pishon, Euphrates, and what's the last one? If a garden can have 4 sources of water for nourishment, how much you as a person? Now, the question is, how hungry are you for money? How hungry are you for financial freedom? If you're hungry enough, you'll notice that there's a whole lot you can do to actually earn. The big question is, you yourself, what is holding you back and what are you doing at the time, right? If you can spend 4 or 5 years getting a degree, I believe you can spend 6 months learning a skill and making money out of it immediately. This is in a year. I believe this very well. If you can spend 4 years in school to get a degree that you are not sure you are even getting a job for immediately, I think in that same power, you can actually learn a skill. And yes, how hungry are you? You can actually learn a skill in that same time frame and, monetize it and start earning from it. Sorry, I'm being a bit dull. I've been in Lagos for like a week. I just got back this evening. I just have to take this class so I don't postpone because I know everyone is busy. So the next thing I said is earning out of the abundance of people. And earning out of the abundance of people has to do with one thing, exchange of value, right? In a circle of 5 friends that are rich, or if I have 5 friends that are rich, the funny thing is, in all honesty, we're actually 6 rich friends. Because by the time we've exchanged value and success rubs up on each other, you see that all of us are busy making money. All of us are millionaires. All of us are billionaires. All of us, our businesses are in one way intertwined and are making the best out of us. Now, can you get a network of people that can fund your dreams if it's possible? I asked the question yesterday to a couple of friends. I was like, can you cry? Can you cry and someone will dash you money? Can you smile and someone will dash you money? Can you just say a word and someone say, for this thing you said, I need to sow a seed, or I need to bless you, or I need to key into it? Can you earn through the abundance of people? Now, it's not just you waking up and saying, I have 1,000 contacts. If I beg 1,000 contacts for 1,000 naira, they give me dash me that I have 100, that's now 100,000 naira or 1,000,000 naira. The question is, have you invested in 1,000 contacts for them to come to your aid when you need them? That is the question. What value are you giving to the people around you, both horizontally and vertically? What value are you giving to those under you? What value are you giving to those beside you that are your peers? What value are you giving to those above you that are older than you? The moment you're able to give value to these three classes of people, I guarantee you that you will reap from the abundance of people. Now, a classic example is the Big Brother Nigeria people, the housemates that went to Big Brother Nigeria. If you notice, the thing that they sell in Big Brother is basically emotions, and people key to that emotion. And you see, when the housemates come out from the houses, even though they don't win, people crowd fund for them, gather money for them, do things for them. This is them earning out of the abundance of people. This is them earning out of the abundance of people. So how can you, as a person, invest in people and earn from the abundance of the people around you, beside you, under you, and above you? The next one I'm going to talk about is investment. Now, investment in layman's terms is simply multiplying your money. But according to Benjamin Graham, he said something that really caught my attention. I was reading one of his books and I really caught something. He said he outlined three things, right? Safety of capital, thorough analysis, and adequate return. If you're going to invest, always look out for these three things. The safety of the money that I am investing. Have I done my analysis on what I am investing in? What is the return of this investment? Is it good enough? And there's a mistake people make every now and then. Whenever they invest, they just see a particular number and they're okay with it. If you look at the returns coming in, also look at the inflation at the moment and ask yourself, the returns that I am getting, is it above inflation rates? If it is not above, if it is below inflation rates, I don't think it's a viable investment because you'll still be at loss. Let's use this for example. Imagine you invest in an asset and you're to get 10% per annum after 12 years, and inflation is at 15%. It means that you're losing by 5%. Albeit that you've been paid your 15%. But here's the funny trick. You have 1 million naira, right? And you have to invest the 1 million naira and get 10%. That's 1.1 million. 1.1 million. Inflation is at 15%, which means that 1 million naira you invested is no longer 1 million. It is 850,000 naira. Now, even if you get that 10% in which you invested, if you get the 10%, which is the return of the investment, you now have 950. You invested 1 million naira, but because of inflation, that money has dropped drastically to the 950. Now, the face value of that 950 is actually 1.150 because of the 15% inflation rate. So when you look at it, 150 minus 950, you see that there's a wide gap of 200,000. Your money, the value of your money has in entirety lost 200,000. That's the real value of that 1 million naira. It's no longer 1 million naira. The real value of 1 million naira is no longer 1 million naira. It is now 950 naira, including the returns. So which means that your money has actually lost 200k. So whenever someone is telling you, oh, come and invest here, look at the returns, ask yourself, is this returns above inflation rates? If it is above inflation rates, I feel we should go ahead with it. But if it is below inflation rate, I think you should need to think twice about it before you go in. The reason why I'm saying think twice about it is so that you don't end up being penny wise and pound foolish. Right. So the next thing I want to go into is savings. Now we've talked about earning, right? The reason why I started from earning is because if you don't earn, you will not be able to save. That's just the gospel truth. You cannot save. How do I explain this now? You cannot save out of thin air. There needs to be something that puts money in your hands. There needs to be something that puts money in your pockets. There needs to be something that puts money in your account that you're able to save from. And now, saving is just a portion of what you have earned set aside for future use. It could be 10%, it could be 20%, it could be 30%, it could be 5%, it could be 5,000, 10,000, whatever the case may be. I normally buttress the issue of saving with this. Consistency and discipline ocean, little drops of sand. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
You went up for a
Yeah,
bit and then you came back.
yeah, sorry. A call came in, that was why. So that's why I had to ask again. Little drops of water make a mighty ocean. Little grains of sand make a mighty desert, right? So discipline and consistency is what will send your savings to the next level. Now, if you put 10,000 naira together 10 times, it's no longer 10,000 naira, it's 100,000 naira. If you put 100,000 naira together 5 times, it's no longer 100,000 naira, it's 500,000 naira. If you put 500,000 naira together 2 times, it's a million naira, it is no longer 500,000 naira. So you're seeing the ideology behind savings. And you don't save because you want to save. You save for three reasons in particular. You save for precautionary measures, you save for transaction measures, and you save for speculative measures. Let me say that again. You don't save because you want to save. You save for three reasons. You save for precautionary measures, you save for transactional measures, and you save for speculative measures. Now explain this. Speculative measures is you are saving to invest, right? You're saving money in case you've saved money in case something comes up in the future and you have the money to pay into it. For example, now you've saved like a million naira and then someone decides to sell a plot of land because they want to jabba at 500,000. You're able to buy that land because you have or property or whatever asset you need because you have savings kept somewhere. And you don't just pack all you have and put in speculative measures no. You split it. That's why I mentioned transaction, speculative, and precautionary. Your savings are supposed to be split into these three areas. So imagine you've saved a million naira now. So just do a million naira divided by three. And that's how you apportion each one to each level. Let me just calculate this. A million divided by three. A million divided by three is roughly 333,000. Roughly 333,000. So you're keeping 333,000 for transaction. You're keeping 333,000 for emergencies. You're keeping 333,000 for investments. This is your 1 million naira down. Now, for speculation, like I explained earlier, in case something comes up and you want to invest in it, this is where you take the money out from. Now, for emergencies, things happen, right? This is life. The most unexpected thing can actually happen to us. And that is why you see people run into debt, like borrowing money. They are borrowing money because they don't have money set aside for occasions of emergencies when they are. For example, you're driving and your car tire blows up. It's your emergency fund you run to get a new tire. You're at home and get a call that this person is sick or your number is you're going to sick. It's your emergency fund you're going to dip your hand into to send them money. Like I said earlier, the emergency fund is there for unforeseen circumstances that need financial resolve. That is what your emergency fund is there for. So don't say you are using your emergency fund to go and invest. So let your emergency fund be in a high savings account where that you can easily access. And at the same time, it's even giving you interest on it being there. That's just the key idea. Right. So the third reason is transaction. We buy things every day. So imagine you, after you've done savings, you've put something aside for your emergency fund, you've put something aside for your investments. Now, there are some small things you want to buy every now and then. Maybe you want to pay for a course, or maybe you want to buy this textbook, or you need this, or you need that to make your life easier and better. This is where you tap into the money from. Now, remember, it took us a while to save to this huge amount. So when we are spending, we're not spending because we want to spend. We are spending because there are things we need to spend on. And this angle of wants versus needs is very, very crucial in your personal finance, right? For example, now, you're hungry. You're hungry, right? You're very, very hungry. You have 5,000 naira. And at the same point, you're faced with buying Cold Stone Creamery, with gummy bears and and waffles and wafers and toppings and everything. That's one option that was given. The second option that was given was, hot eba with vegetable soup or okra soup or the soup of the choice with bombo, shaki, everything, plenty edibles in the soup. What would you go for? Now you have Cold Stone on the left, you have this food on the right. What would you go for? You definitely go for the food. Why? Because it is more filling. It will sustain you for longer periods, right? But if we have to bring this scenario in our financial life, there are many of us that when we are faced with situations like this, we end up buying the things we want and not the things we need. Yes, we are hungry. We want Cold Stone. But do you actually need Cold Stone at this point? Do you actually need Cold Stone at this point? You see a young person who needs money to go to school, but is using an iPhone. And I'm like, why are you begging for school fees when you have a phone worth over 500,000 in your hands? Why can't you sell this phone and start something and get something new, or start a business or something, and then you now, get out money from that and pay your school fees? I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. So many a times, we young people, we volunteers, we Gen Z and millennials, we are always faced with this particular problem: our wants versus our needs. And the funny thing is, our wants are those things that satisfy our hunger just for the meantime, short term. After 20 minutes, we'll start craving for something else. But our needs satisfy our hunger for the long term and are even beneficial to us on the long run. Your education is a need, and iPhone is a want. Your house rent is a need. That wig is a want. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. Now, I'm not saying that buying these things are bad. They are not bad. But the question is, what is the economic importance of this thing you're buying at this point? By the time you start thinking about the economic importance of what you're spending on, you will think twice about spending on it again. And there's something called the 30-day principle. If you want to really get something, just chill on it for 30 days. If after 30 days you want to buy it, you can go ahead and buy it. But if after 30 days you don't see the importance of having that thing, then let it go. Walk away. Walk away 2 seconds. Right? So as young people, this is one particular thing that affects our savings culture: wants and needs. The faster we're able to decipher this and understand it, the better for us, the better it will be for us to, have a very balanced financial life. Now, talking about the next thing, which is investment. I've said something about investment earlier. Now, there's something I'm going to say about investment. Investment, when people want to invest, I tell them you have 2 options to invest in. Either you invest in the real sector or you invest in the financial market. Now, the real sector is the engine that drives the economy of the nation. We are talking about industries like agriculture, industries like transportation, industries like hospitality, fashion. As long as it's something you spend on, you can see and touch. That is the real sector. Services you use every now and then. That's the real sector. Many of you that went out today had one means of transportation going from point A to point B. I flew from Lagos to Abuja. The aviation industry is the real sector. I got a taxi from Owerri to Abia. That is the real sector. On my way, I bought water along the road. That is the real sector. While I was in Lagos, I was in a hotel. That is the real sector. I bought food from a booker. That is the real sector. So the question is, do you have what it takes, or do you have the idea or the information or the thorough analysis and the technical know-how to invest in the real sector? What business can you run in the real sector? What business can you operate in the real sector? Whose business can you invest in the real sector? These are questions you just and ask yourself. Now, the financial market. The financial market is divided into 2 parts: the capital market and the money market. Now, the money market is a short-term market where, you trade financial assets between 3 months to 90 days to, 1 year. And the capital market is for over 1 year period. Things that are involved in the capital market are things like in the financial market are like shares and stocks, euro bonds, treasury bills, um, 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 trying to ETFs, um, 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 derivatives. Now, these are instruments in the financial market and they work into specific order. It's either you buy low, you buy the asset low and you sell it high, or you buy the assets for a period of time to get a desired return or a desired rate of investment. Now, that rate, for example, let me give you an example of the later one I explained that investing in something for a period of time that will give you for a period of time for a particular amount return to you. Something like bonds, something like treasury bills, right? These are investments where the returns are static. Federal government bonds, they are all static. You put your money there for 1 year, for 6 months, and at the end of that period, they are or the beginning of it, even once you've indicated interest to invest and you've invested that amount, they might either give you your money at the beginning of that cycle or at the end of that cycle, whichever you may choose. So they pay your interest beforehand or after the investment cycle. So both your capital and your returns are given to you. Now, things like the capital market where you buy shares and ETFs and derivatives, you watch the market and you buy them when these assets are their lowest. For example, when Geregu Power Plant entered the stock exchange, got listed on the stock exchange, they were listed for 100 now, barely 2 years ago. As it stands now, Geregu is priced at 1,000 naira per share. So those that bought Geregu at 100 naira, let's say I bought 100,000 naira worth of the shares. Right now, the value of my 100,000 naira would have skyrocketed to maybe a million naira. So over a million naira, right? So over a million naira. So that is just it. And these are things that we see every now and then and every day. These are things that pop up on the news. I don't know if you're with me. Like, who remembers that Otedola and Tunde scuffle that happened some time ago last year? That scuffle alone was able to generate 400% for Transcorp on the stock market. While some people were debating whether it was a good move or a bad move, like why should Otedola come to buy into Transcorp and the rest of that? Other people like me on the stock market, we're looking at the charts and seeing money go up, money being printed, and we get into it. That 2 weeks ago, 400% was made on Transcorp. So if you bought Transcorp at 10 naira at that period, you were getting 400% of that money. You bought at 5 naira that period, you were getting 400% of that money. How many you get me? So these are things we can just low-key do. And we don't need to put in much energy. We don't need to monitor it every day. Just put your money in the money market or in the capital market and you go and rest and sit down. At the end of the period or at the end of the cycle, you get your funds back. And I tell people, if you're investing in stocks or in crypto or in this or in that, always look at the long term. Don't look at, okay, I want to do it for 2 months and bring my money out. Look for it. Just play the long term game. I assure you, playing long term would even benefit you more than doing it 3 months, 2 months, or whatever the case may be. Right. So I want to go into the next phase. Now, the thing about going into financial freedom is not a destination. It is a journey. Because why? Earning, savings, investing are all things you need to do continually to get financial freedom. This thing is not something that will happen in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. It might take you 15 to 20 years to actually achieve. But like I said earlier, consistency and discipline is what will actually give you the extra edge to get to where you're going to. And that's what I'm speaking to volunteers. But the fact that you're a volunteer doesn't mean that you don't have a job. The fact that you're a volunteer doesn't mean that you don't have a side hustle. The fact that you're a volunteer doesn't mean that you have a business. Like I asked earlier, how hungry are you? And here's the best part. As a volunteer, you have wide access to a range of network. You meet different kinds of people every day. How do you introduce yourself to them? How do you pitch your business to them? How do you tell them this is what I do? This is what I am known for? If you walk into an elevator and you meet Dangote, what would you tell him in less than 2 minutes? This is one question I always ask. So don't use the excuse of I'm a volunteer. Because of that, you'll not be financially free. No, I'm a volunteer. You won't get a job. I'm a volunteer. You won't own a business. No. The fact that you're a volunteer even gives you the ability to own all of these things, to have all of these things, because you're meeting people every now and then. People are recommending you to other people. People are recommending you to organizations. People are recommending you to high net worth individuals. So you have far more access and leverage than people who don't even do this. Only if you get me, you have far more access, to a wider range of network, high network individuals and the rest. The question is, what value are you producing or are you giving across board, both horizontally and vertically? What value are you giving to those under you? What value are you giving to those beside you? What value are you giving to those above you? One major way to make money, to earn money, is through exchange of value. Exchange of value. What value are you bringing to society that can be monetized? What value are you giving to the next person beside you? If you're not able to bring this, I'm sorry to say you will be static. You'll be static for a very, very, very long time. So ask yourself, what value can I give? Now, I want to use this very classic example. Let's imagine you're in school. Right? And you're in a hostel in school, maybe boys hostel or girls hostel. What is one thing you feel is needed? Or okay, let me ask you a question. What business can you do if you're a guy on this meeting? What business can you do in a boys hostel? If you're a girl in this meeting, what business can you do in a girls hostel? I want someone to give me an answer of what they think they can do. What can you sell in a boys hostel? What can you sell in a girls hostel? Are you guys still with me?
I will send data and recharge card.
Yeah.
You said you'll be selling.
Data and recharge card.
If you're in a boys hostel, you'll be selling water and recharge card.
Data.
Okay, you'll be selling data and recharge card if you're in a boys hostel.
Yes.
Why will it be okay? Why are you selling that in a boys hostel?
Because there will be a ready market for it. Most students need access to internet to do their assignments and to carry out most of their work. So there will be a ready demand for it.
Okay, so are you now
And
seeing
also it saves people the stress of
so are you now saying that in your bid to solve a problem and give value, you are low-key getting money from people? Now, the reason why you're selling data and recharge card is because you are seeing that people are always browsing, people are always online. So therefore, they need to fuel that, what keeps them online. That they need to get data, they need to get recharge card. Now you are solving the problem of bringing it to them directly. If you have this kind of mentality for your community, there are things you see that your community are lacking. And just by you bringing value to it, you're busy making money. I had a friend who served in the north, right? He noticed that in his community where he was staying, that for them to get drinkable water, that's by pure water, they have to go to the next village, which is like very far. So do you know what this guy did? He called a couple of us that are his friends, asked us for an amount of money, called people. Now, because we know what this guy is capable of, we were able to give him that money he was asking for. He started a pure water business. Now, he was thinking he was solving the problem of his community, not knowing that even the next community did not have drinkable water. They have to cross his own community to the next community to buy water. So, in his bid to solve the problem of drinkable water, he was now selling water to 2 communities comprising of thousands of people. And in a space of 1 month, he had returned us all the money we gave him. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. Now look at your community, look at your surrounding, look in your ecosystem and ask yourself this question. What problem is in this place and how can I solve it? The moment you're able to decipher this, guy, you're on the next step of becoming the next Otella or Dangote. Dangote is not selling cement because he loves selling cement. He's selling cement because he saw a gap in the real estate system that cement was being imported. And he decided to become a major importer of cement. Now, he was asking himself, how can I, instead of me asking for bread, why don't I own the bakery? And I decided to go the extra mile to create a cement factory. Now, look at where he has been propelled to. Africa's richest man. So ask yourself this question: what problem in my society is there that I can actually solve? If you're able to do this, like I said earlier, next step to generational wealth. Where was I again? So I would like to explain something very quickly. Can you guys still hear me? Am I still audible?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So when it comes to financial freedom, right? I tell people that it comes in different. It's very crazy, and you need to understand a certain kind of principle before you need to be financially free. So I'm going to define lack, poverty, wealth, and riches. So poverty is the absence of financial resources and the absence of knowledge and intelligence that guarantees productivity. When someone is poor, it's not that they don't have money. They don't have money, and at the same time, there is an absence of knowledge that guarantees productivity. So number one is you don't have money and you don't have sense. Let me put it that way. For you to be poor means that you don't have money and you don't have sense. That makes me look at Nigeria again. We are not poor in Nigeria. We don't have money, but we have sense. Which means we are not poor, but Nigerians are lacking. Now, what is lack? Lack is the insufficiency of adequate resources to meet your financial obligations, especially when required. So it does not mean that you don't have money. You have money, but the money is in the future. You have money, but you know if you do A plus B minus C, money will come out. So imagine you having a need for £1 million now. You don't have it now. But you know that you can do some businesses and £1 million will come in the future. So it doesn't mean that you don't have money. You have money, but it's in the future. So you have to push yourself to bring that money from the future. So now, that is what lack. That is what lack generally is. Even the Bible says, givers will never lack. The Bible did not mean money. Givers will never lack access. Givers will never lack help. Givers will never lack ideas. Givers never lack connections. So how do you take all of these things that are in your head and put them into action and bring money out of it? That is just what lack is trying to let you understand. So Nigerians are not poor. Nigerians are lacking. You are not poor. You are lacking. So ask yourself, what can I do right now? What can I put in place together? And money will start coming out from it. What can I do that can make the person beside me put their hand in their pockets and bring out the money that they have and put in my own pocket? That is just the absolute question that needs to be answered. Now, riches. Riches is the access to financial resources. Riches is the abundance of financial resources. So when someone is rich, right, they have plenty of money. And I always use this classic example. The former governor of Abia State was rich. The current governor of Abia State is wealthy. Now, how do I define wealth? Wealth has to do with the system that guarantees the continuity of financial resources. Wealth is financial resources plus the system that guarantees replenishment. Someone like Dangote is wealthy. Dangote is not rich. So when they say Africa's richest man, I'll be like, no, Africa's wealthiest man. Because he has abundance of financial resources and he has systems in place that will keep generating financial resources. And that's why I said financial freedom is not a destination, it is a journey. And it has to do with your earning, your saving, and your investing done continually in a cycle. Now, for the last stage, which is opulence. Opulence is that level where you get to speak, where your voice counts in the economy of a nation. Dangote is not financially free. Dangote is opulent. If Dangote decides to move his business out of Nigeria, I'm telling you that our economy will largely crumble, whether we like it or not. So this is personal finance in a nutshell. Earning, saving, investing. Oh, I didn't talk about budgeting. So budgeting is just, in simple terms, you putting a plan for your money. Telling your money where it needs to be at every point in time. Now, people give different parameters to budgeting. There's the 50-30-20, the 50-30-20 principle. There's the 70-30 principle. There's the 20-20-60 principle. Whatever principle it is, I tell people this: my financial responsibility is there for your financial responsibility. We might be earning the same amount of money. We might be earning 200,000 naira, but a man that earns 200,000 naira at his mind and has a family will not have the same responsibility as a man that earns 200,000 naira that lives alone by himself without a family responsibility, right? So a man that earns 200,000 naira and stays on his own can adequately save and invest. A man that has a family and 200,000 naira cannot adequately save and invest. He can save little and invest little, but not at the same magnitude as the one living alone. That is why your single years are very key. They are to help you build and become a better person in society. If you're unable to maximize your single years, it's not when you're married you're able to maximize your marital years. That is just it, right? So I tell people this: if you want to budget effectively, right, be able to track your expenses. Now, there's something I do. There's something I call the 30. It's also a 30-day principle, right? Divide 30 days into a trimester, 10 days each for each trimester. Record everything you spend on for 10 days. Everything you spend on, record it for 10 days. Then at the end of that 10 days, audit it. You will see that there are expenses you make that were very stupid. And that it don't make sense. I guarantee you. You will see some, for example, now you were bored. You went to your friend's house, you took boats, got to this guy's house, there was no food. You ordered food, there was no fuel, there was no light, you bought fuel. By the time you calculated the expense, you'll be surprised that you spent almost 15K to go to your friend's house just to do a neighbor and not help your life. By the time you're able to audit your expenses, you see that there are expenses that were never should have been made in the first place. That does not make sense. You cancel all those expenses and you take the remaining sheets and use to plan the next 10 days. At the same point, writing down everything you spend on the next 10 for that second 10 days. At the end of the second trimester, go through it again. You still see that there are one or two errors you made in spending that should have been made, right? But the funny thing is, they are not as much as the first trimester. By the time you do this to the third trimester, you will know how much you spend in a month on drinking water, how much you spend on transport, how much you spend on eating outside. And with all of this information, you can actually plan yourself for the next month adequately well. Now, in doing that, you see that there's excess money that is on the side. This money can be sent to your savings. This money can be sent to your investments. Are you guys with me? Are you guys still with me? All right. So, all said and done, if you take all of this information you have gathered and decide to imply them into your personal finance life, you see that there are some things you should do before that you will stop doing. There are some decisions you used to take before you will stop taking. If you get money and you save and you make it a habit, you'll be surprised that there are just some things that you used to do before, some things you should spend on, some things that used to, that were your cravings. They no longer become your cravings anymore. And you'll be surprised that the money you're saving and doing things with can actually be multiplied and even make you more money than expected. So I hope with these few points of mine, I have convinced you and not confused you that your personal finance is of utmost importance and you need to pay attention to it. Thank you very much and God bless you for listening. If you have any questions, please let's address them immediately.
Good evening, everyone. So, we're thankful for what our speaker has said so far. So, what really stuck with me was the budget planning, the speculative and all that. And I think what took with me is that having an income leads to you budgeting. You can't budget with hopes and dreams. You can't budget with what you don't have yet, but you can budget for what you don't have. I think that's what took with me the most. So once again, thank you for the speaker. And if anyone has any question, he can ask now. Can I get a confirmation if everybody heard what I said?
Yes, I heard you.
I heard you as well. Please let's ask our question. Oh, this is a one in a thousand opportunity before you would see K come and speak on this caliber. So please, you have the floor to ask any question at all regarding everything I said. If there's anything that I said that confused you or any
Anything I
clarity.
said, any questions you have for yourself, just ask them, right? From the things I said, if you have any questions like how can I invest in stocks? How can I invest? How can I invest in treasury bills? How can I save better? Ask them. I'm here to answer all your questions, right? Whatever question it is
Yeah.
that you have in mind, or how does inflation affect me? How does the NPR affect me? What is the CBN doing? How is it going to affect me? Ask all those questions.
All right. So I have 2 questions, but first of all, I want to say thank you. The class was very enlightening. So my first question will be, usually when it comes to removing a certain percent for maybe investment and emergency fund, I don't know if there's like a general percent that most financial experts advise for you to remove based on whatever you're earning. If there is, maybe I would like to know. That's one. Then my second question is investing in stock. I don't know so much about investing in stock. I don't know how it really works, and I want to know. So if we have time and it's okay by you, I don't mind learning. Thank
All
you.
right. So most people agree that if you're earning, take out 30% of your savings. Take out 30% of your earnings to save. For example, you earn 100,000 naira, take out 10,000 naira to save. You earn 20,000 naira, take out 6,000 naira to save. But like I always say, everyone does not have the same financial responsibility, right? Everyone does not have the same financial responsibility. If I maybe live in Abuja and I have my car, or my dad gave me a car, and I live in my dad's house, and I'm earning 500K, you will not tell me that I should be saving 150. You tell me to even save more because I'm not doing anything with money. The only thing I can do with money is just flex, hang out, put fuel in my car, and maybe 1 or 2 times buy things for my family, right? And 100K can cover that in a month. So what am I doing with the remaining 400? Or 150 can cover that in a month. What am I doing with the remaining 350? When you get where I'm coming from. Now, the person earning 500K living in Abuja that has his own house, drives his own car, has a family and other responsibilities cannot be able to save as much as this person is saving. At that point, he will tell himself, okay, after all my expenses, right, or before all my expenses, let me bring out 100K and save and work with 400. Now, mind you, that 100K he's saving is not up to 30%. It's just 20%. So when I tell people, when it comes to saving, look for that thing that is adequate enough for you to bring out to set aside and does not interfere with your financial responsibility. That is what your saving should be. If I know that I earn 100,000 naira and I have huge responsibilities, I cannot say I'll be saving 50K. I can tell myself, okay, I know I have these responsibilities, but if I save 20K, it will not disturb me much. I cannot gladly save 20K, knowing that 80K can take care of other things I need to sort out. So you now get where I'm coming from. Now, that is not 30% again. That is just 20%. So there are some people that their financial responsibilities might be huge. And they might say, what I can save is 10%. And they can consistently save this 10% for the next 3 years. That is the idea. So are you comfortable with the amount that you are saving? Yes or no? If you're comfortable with it, continue. If you're not comfortable with it, ask yourself, what can I do to be comfortable with a particular amount that is being saved? Now, at this point, if you don't understand that your income is not enough to take care of your financial responsibility, then you need to get more sources of income. Like now, I outlined 5 different ways of investing, sorry, of making money, right? Can you, out of these 5, get 2 or 3, and from here, and from here, and from here? If you are able to do that, you see that you'll be able to save more and you still have enough for your financial responsibility. Okay, what was the second question again?
About stock, how investing in stock works and everything around it.
Okay. When it comes to investing in stocks, right, there are 2 key things to look out. There are dividend stocks and growth stocks. Now, growth stocks are stocks that, are always being termed to increase in valuation. For example, a stock like Julie, as of 2 months ago, was about 2 naira. Right now, Julie's at 8 naira. That's a good stock. A dividend paying stocks are stocks that, the company is doing amazingly well. Their portfolio is huge. Their profit is on the high side. They've not decided to, as they are still growing, they are also paying their shareholders dividend. That's a part of the profit that they have made is also being paid to the shareholder. For example, Geregu was paying 8 naira. They had to pay 8 naira this month for everyone that had their shares in the last one month. So if you had 8,000 units of Geregu, now Geregu paying you 8 naira means that Geregu will pay you 8,000 naira as profit, that from the profit they have made, just for you to keep this, for investing in Geregu power plant. They are giving you 8 naira for the 1,000 shares you have. That's 8,000 naira. This is just saying, thank you for investing in us. Thank you for staying with us. This is the money we made. We are giving you this one to hold. Only if you get me. So these are the 2 ways. These are the 2 ways stocks is very is very profitable. Now, like I said, growth stocks, dividend paying stocks. Some dividend paying stocks also act like growth stocks. For example, First Bank. When Otedola came into First Bank, First Bank was at 22 naira. Otedola came in and First Bank went as high as 40 naira. And they are still paying dividend. Dangote, by this time last year, Dangote shares was at 200 naira. Dangote cement is it cement or Dangote sugar? Either one of them is at 600 naira. And yet, they are paying 30 naira as dividend per share. So if I have 1 million units of Dangote cement shares or Dangote sugar shares, and they are paying me 30 naira per share as dividend, 30 naira by 1 million is 30 million naira. It's 30, so free 30 million naira because I own 1 million units of Dangote shares. Only if you get me. So this is how stocks is profitable, and this is how stock is, very cool. And you don't just wake up and buy any company. Like I explained earlier, if you are going to invest, you do thorough analysis. So you look at the company's financials, you look at the board of directors, you look at their outputs. What is this company, the thing they are producing, do people actually enjoy using them? How often do they buy them? For example, today alone, we've all had something that had a taste of sugar inside. Or this week alone, we'll have something that will have a taste of sugar inside. So which means Nigerians consume sugar. 200 million Nigerians consume sugar, or 100 million Nigerians consume sugar every day. Who is the major manufacturer of sugar in Nigeria? Dangote. There is no point you to buy Dangote sugar as a portfolio or Dangote sugar shares to keep. Why? Because people consume these things every day. And this company is making money every day. Making money off you, off me. How can you make money through what you are consuming? It's by investing in that same company. You use MTN. We are online. We are online on Telegram. Data is burning. We all bought data. We all subscribed. How many of us have MTN shares? How many of us have MTN shares? You bought airtime. You do. Amazing. Now, you bought airtime. You bought an airtime through your bank app. Do you have shares of the Zenith Bank you are using? Or the First Bank you're using? Or the Access Bank you're using? Or the UBA you're using? So, when it comes to shares, I tell people, you see that thing you consume very well. You use every now and then. You cannot live without. Buy their companies. Just close eye. Buy their companies. Leave it for 1 year. You'll be surprised when you come back to see how much you have. Have I answered your question?
Yes, clearly. Thank you.
All right.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, I can hear you.
So I wanted to ask a question. So I know we're talking about stocks and
No,
investments
we are not
and
talking about stocks. We are talking about finance in general.
yeah. No, as in, based on the question you just answered, so I wanted to just ask a question in regards to that as well. So what platform would you suggest for one to be able to, do this,
Okay.
shares
So
and like what platform do you
there,
recommend?
there are platforms like AfriVest. There's Bamboo. Okay, AfriVest does Nigerian stocks and US stocks. Bamboo does majorly US stocks and Nigerian other Nigerian financial assets like bonds and NTBs and the rest. Chaka does Nigerian stocks and US stocks. Yocha does Nigerian stocks and US stocks. I would always advise to use Yocha. Why? Because even on Yocha app, there is a community where people come together and discuss, ask questions, and also get insights. Information are passed on the Yocha community. So unlike other platforms or other apps that just want you to buy and sell, they receive their commission. Yocha also um allows you entry into a community where you get to discuss with people who have gone far in the shares in the finance world when it comes to shares and buying of shares and the rest. They understand technical analysis to the dream, fundamental analysis to the dream. They know how to speculate and all of that. This is where you find them. So if you just go there and ask questions, you see people willing to help you, to clarify your doubts, to answer your questions, to guide you, to give you references, tell you what you need to know, what you don't need to know, what you do and what you shouldn't do. So that's why I always tell people there are other good apps. So like Afriverse is good, Chaka is good, Trove is good. All these apps are good. Bamboo is good, but Yocha is better because it provides you a community. So you don't get lost with Yocha. You cannot get lost with Yocha. That's just the gospel truth.
All right, thank you so much. Please, can you drop the
Yeah,
things that you mentioned now? Because I didn't really get. If you can
yeah, I
drop it
was
in the comment section so that we can check it out. Okay. Hello, did you get me?
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Okay, all right. Does anybody have any more questions?
Yes, good evening. Uh, my question is on the stock, the treasury bill, and those ones you just highlighted now. My question is, the dividends, is it paid monthly or yearly? That's the
Okay,
dividends. And also,
okay,
do you have access to terminate it prematurely, or it has to be for a particular period of time?
okay. So dividend are paid at the discretion of the board of directors, right? The board will decide, should we pay our dividend every 3 months, every 6 months, or once in a year, or do we pay every month? If the board decides we are making enough money, let's pay every month. Fine and good, they'll pay every month. Now, at the same time, the board will now give a condition. Anybody that we are paying dividends to must have held our stock from so period to so period. If not, you're not entitled to our dividend. Now they say terms T and C applies, terms and conditions applies. So all of these things carry terms and conditions. You should have been entitled to hold this thing for so and so period of time to qualify for it, right? So that's just the thing with dividend payments. So some people just go in, hold the stocks for 1 week and disappear. You're not be entitled to dividend, though. You're not be entitled to dividend. You must have held it for the period of time that has been indicated by the board of directors. If not, you're not be entitled to it. So that's how dividend works. So the company has to agree, first of all, through their AGM, their annual general meeting, and through the board of directors, when the dividends will be paid how much is going to be paid, and the conditions necessary to qualify for the payment of it. Are you with me?
Yes, I got you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, any more questions? Um, this one at okay, let me ask another question. So, I know that a lot of my people here are, some of them are students, some are freelancers, some are, searching for jobs. And I would like you to give an advice to those that, just give a general advice as to, most of them are not really earning as much as they would like to. What do you think they should do now, being on this call, and what is one of the first things that they can do to help them to achieve that, financial growth? Since some of them are not really earning as much as they could, some they are struggling, and also, what do you think? What's one advice you'd give to them in regards to that can help them on their journey?
Okay. So here's the gospel truth, Bar. Your personal finance is a marathon, not a sprint. Now, I know that many of you might be looking at those beside you, your peers who are doing amazingly well. Peer pressure comes in and all of that, right? I understand that. But this is what I want you to understand. The, the proportional of money you are going to make is okay. The money you are going to make is directly proportional to how much you invest in yourself. Let me take that again. The amount of money you feel you're going to actually make in essence is directly proportional to how much you invest in yourself. Now, if you take out time to learn things, to learn skills, to learn about things that can help you get more money, you would see that one way or the other, money will start flowing, whether you like it or not. Now, for example, I charge for consultations, 30,000 naira for an hour. I speak at events, I write articles, I do wealth management, I do a whole lot. I still have my job, I still have my investment. Now, this thing didn't just happen in one day. I kept on developing myself gradually. I and Z went to Godney Leadership Institute and we learned a lot. We learned about leadership, we learned about personal development, we learned about public speaking, we learned about networking, we learned about teamwork. Now, all of these things were now applied into various areas of my life and helped me become better. You cannot say you want to be earning more money when your skill level is static. Technology evolves every day so that the value will keep going up. You as a person, how do you evolve? How do you innovate? How do you upgrade yourself? Remember what happened to Techno? Techno was unable to upgrade themselves. They were unable to innovate because they felt they were the kings in the market. And that was how they fell out of the market. Look at iPhone, for example. The iOS, every now and then, is bringing up something new. To the point that people are shouting, there's nothing new again. You probably replicate what you did last year. But they are always doing something. Every September, a new flagship. Every September, a new iPhone. Every September, they are doing that thing to retain their value in the market. They are doing that thing to retain their as much money as they can in the market to maintain that number one spot. If a company or a product can do this, how much you? So this is the piece of advice I would leave to you. You want to make more money, you want to get to that point, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself as much as you can. Thank you.
All right. Godsend, I think you can take it up from here. It's Godsend here. I think he has. All right.
See
Thank
you.
you so much. Okay, you're here. All right. I think you can take it up from here. We are supposed to end this meeting by 8:30. So you can take it up from here since you're not getting any questions again. Did you get me, Godsend?
So I didn't get you. My network keeps getting on and off.
Yeah, I said you could round up the meeting, seeing that we don't have anyone asking more questions.
Okay, now so I'm grateful for all the speakers said and all that. So I think there's a popular rule on financial literacy. I think it's the 50, 30, 20 rule, which was expanded. I think if Chin also asked a question about on savings. So one necessarily because no one earns the same. So the 50, 20, 30 rule helps to enable that no matter what you earn, it gives the percentage. So let's say somebody thousand that should go to your needs. That is things you actually need at the moment, house rent, utilities, and all that. Then you keep 30% for your wants. That's I think you want, maybe you recharge card, phones, and all that. Then 20% to your savings. So with what he has said, I think the most biggest takeaway we can take from today's lessons or today's training, before you even think about saving, you have to think about earning. So once you earn, then you can save. So for all those who attend the meeting, whatever you can do to earn, I think he talked about Dangote and all that. Once you find a stream of income or revenue, something on how you can generate income, then you can think of savings. So just to close everything up, I wish that everybody should check up on the 50, 20, 30 rule as they go to sleep or just meditate on it tomorrow. So thank you all for attending the meeting. And if you could just drop feedback on the message chat or the Telegram channel on how the meeting went, that would be excellent. Thank you once again, and good night, everybody.
All right. Please let's drop our feedback on the group on the channel so that Kay can read through. Oh, he just left the call now. So just drop it. He's still on the group, so he can read through the messages. And thank you all for joining in. I'll be ending this call and we'll talk on our WhatsApp group. So thank you everyone. Please let's don't forget our meeting on Saturday, please, 8 p.m. We'll be having it here on this platform. All right. So have a good night, everyone.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Talk to Jenny.